How's it going, everybody? 24 hours. In about 24 hours, we will know. We will know whether or not this Seattle Seahawks team that we are rooting for this year is a good team or a special team. Or at least we'll be about 90% of the way there. Because it's games like tomorrow that really go most of the way in determining what kind of team you have and what kind of season you're going to have. And there are Seahawks teams who I have rooted for in the past that were good. They made the playoffs. They won more games than they lost. Sometimes they won a playoff game, sometimes they didn't. And I respect those teams. I respect the players on those teams that made it happen. But then there are those special Seahawks teams that made a real push to be not only a good team, but a great team. And not only a great team, but the best team in the league that year. And we've seen a couple of Seahawks teams come close to that. And we've seen at least one Seahawks team accomplish that. And if these players, if this group of players and this group of coaches want to put themselves in the latter category, I believe they need to win tomorrow. And I could sit here and talk about X's and O's for 10, 15 minutes. There are certainly X's and O's in this game that are worth talking about, but I'm just more talking about the will to win and the heart and determination it's going to take to go out there and beat this Rams team. Because you're not going to go into this game thinking you're going to blow out the Rams by 40 points. You're not going to win this game easily. This is not going to be an easy game. You're not going to have any free wins. Everything is on the line tomorrow. The Rams probably took last week off because they were anticipating this game. So you know they're going to be ready for this one because they were not ready last week. And both teams know what's at stake. So really what I'm looking for tomorrow is which players and which coaches are going to leave it all out there on the field tomorrow to make it so we can take the first big step to making this year special instead of just good. And there are players on this team that have something to prove. Russell Wilson. You've got people in this fan base doubting you for the first time in almost 2 years. For the first time in maybe over 2 years since at least you signed that big contract. Maybe even before then. You have never had doubters and haters in your own fan base like you do right now. You have people, myself included, who for the first time in a long time are wondering, are you the guy? Are you the $35 million a year man? Are you the guy who can be our franchise QB and carry us to a Super Bowl? Can you be one of the best QBs in the league? And the last 2 months have people like me doubting it because, let's face it, you haven't looked like yourself. But we know you can do it because we've seen you do it before. We've seen you play like the best QB in the league, like one of the best QBs of all time. And if you go out there tomorrow and play a big game against the Rams, play like we know you can play, like you played earlier this season, and you can leave it all on the field to try to help us get this big, crucial, division-clinching win, then that's how you earn our love and admiration forever. DK Metcalf. I know you were mad after that last game. We all saw it. We were mad too. You didn't get the ball thrown your way against Jalen Ramsey. Last time we played this team, you were pissed. This time, you're probably going to get the ball thrown your way because everybody noticed that. Your QB noticed it. The defense noticed it. The other players, everybody noticed it. So you got to perform. You got to get open on Jalen Ramsey. You got to beat his coverage. You got to catch the ball. You got to make plays after the catch. You got to be the guy that all Seahawks fans want you to be. You have to carry this passing attack tomorrow that's probably going to have to be really good to win. Because, yeah, there's a lot on you right now. Tyler Lockett, not playing 100% right now. He's worn down. He doesn't have his explosiveness and speed right now. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He can still get open, and he's going to need to tomorrow. He can still run good routes, still has good hands. But I don't believe he's the Tyler Lockett from 3 months ago right now. David Moore, I don't think he's 100% right now either. We've seen him go from a super efficient number 3 receiver to the most hit-or-miss player on this team, maybe. Josh Gordon, we may never see Josh Gordon suit up for the Seahawks again. Is what it is. Can't lean on him. Philip Dorsett, still on IR. We may never see him suit up for the Seahawks. Greg Olsen, first game back from a major injury. Who knows what we're going to get? Will Dissly, still not back from his own major injury at 100%. He might never be back. So yeah, DK, if we want to win this game, you're probably going to have to do something special out there. And if you can do it, then that's another step you've taken towards making us Seahawks fans love you forever. Jordan Simmons. Mike Upati, he's got a few games left in his NFL career, and we all know it. The man can barely keep himself in one piece. This is your chance, Jordan Simmons. The fan base likes you. They think you can be a decent NFL guard. But if you go out there tomorrow and play for the injured Mike Upati, and you play effectively against Aaron Donald, maybe the best defensive player in the league, if you get it done tomorrow, you will take a step towards making us in the fan base love you. And if you can make us love you tomorrow, then maybe you can be our long-term left guard after Mike Upati leaves in the offseason. Cedric O, we've been killing you all season. But you know what? We still gave you money this offseason. You're still on the team. We still paid you a couple $1,000,000 to come here and be a backup. You're going to have to play a little tomorrow, buddy. Brandon Shell, I'm not counting on him for 100% of the snaps. No siree. And he's going to gut it out and do the best he can. I know that. But you got to go out there and perform. And if you perform in this game, that'll wash away a lot of the criticism I've heaped on you this whole season. This is your opportunity to earn that money, Cedric O. Games like tomorrow are the days where a guy like you can earn that $1,000,000. Brian Schottenheimer. What's our identity on offense? Do you have it figured out in time for this game? Are we a running team? Are we a passing team? Are we a team that can only go deep? Are we a team that does a lot of short passing routes? What are we? Because we're 14 games into the season. I don't feel like I know what our identity is. I know Russell Wilson played great at the start. We looked like that wide open, halfway to air raid, pass first, pass second, pass third team. And then it got away from us. And now we've got the three-headed monster at running back. Carson, Hyde, Penny. These guys can kill it. But then I look at the offensive line and I see an offensive line that has been built to pass block. And I got to tell you, I don't know what our identity is. Our receivers, they're a little banged up right now. They're not what we expected coming into this season. We're not getting Josh Gordon back. So 15 games. Have you figured out our identity? Because your job could be on the line this weekend, and you've only been here now for 3 years. So games like tomorrow, you getting it done and doing something that works and doing something special to give us a chance to win is going to determine a lot of your legacy in Seattle. Are you an offensive coordinator the fans liked, or are you an offensive coordinator the fans loved? Dunlap, you want to be a long-term fixture on this team? Hey, you've taken steps in the right direction, but I got to tell you, people are not going to remember a sack you got in week 15 against the Washington no-names. They're not going to remember sacks you got against Arizona back in week 11. But they're really going to remember if you had a big game against this team in this situation. Benson Mayowa, 1 year mercenary, signing that cheap $3 million deal. I think you've been all right. I like what you've done through 14 games. I think you've been a key contributor to this squad. But if you go out there tomorrow and ball out, come up with some big plays on defense, you can make us love you, and we'll remember you years from now as a really good free agency pickup that ended up helping us win the division and maybe, just maybe, getting this season somewhere special. Bobby Wagner, another obvious one. I've been hating on Bobby lately because I felt like I had no choice. And I've got fans mad at me, but I know there are a lot of Seahawks fans that are right there with me. We're paying $18 million to a middle linebacker who barely does the routine stuff sometimes. Can't tackle, can't cover. You've heard the criticisms from me, guys. If he goes out there tomorrow, he can shut me up by making some big plays in the biggest game of the season. Because the season is ultimately determined by 3 or 4 moments that determine whether or not you're good or you're special. And if Bobby goes out there and makes game-winning plays tomorrow, he can help make this season special and help make me look like I'm wrong. Jordan Brooks, first-round pick. I hated it. But you know what? I believe you can play. And I think a lot of people in this fan base believe you can play. But if you want to win us over, if you actually want to make us believe that that was a good draft pick, if you want us to believe that you can be part of the core of the defense going forward, then go do something tomorrow to earn it. Because, look, I've seen good stuff from you this season, and I don't want to hate you. But I haven't seen you do anything explosive or game-changing yet. You do something game-changing and explosive tomorrow, you're going to start making me question myself. You're going to make me wonder if maybe I was wrong. KJ Wright, I wanted to cut you in the offseason. Maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe you've had a really good season. I've been happy with what you've done. But if you want to earn a huge chunk of that $10 million we are paying you that we would not have had to if we had cut you like I wanted to, you go out there tomorrow, you make a big play, you be you, and I'm going to get over that $10 million real quick. Shaq Griffin, you're playing for a contract. Go out there and play like it. None of this garbage of getting away with obvious pass interference and then dancing like you did something. Go make a play on the ball. Jamal Adams. Yeah, it's been a good season, Jamal. I like you. You made the Pro Bowl even though you missed 5 games. Hey, not saying anything bad about you, but it's games like tomorrow's game that determine whether or not you were worthy of that boatload of capital we gave up to acquire you. Pete Carroll, the big one. Let's finish up with Pete. Look, I know you're the reason why we gave up these assets to get some of these defensive pieces. Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, Jordan Brooks and LJ Collier, 2 first-round picks. Dunlap, another one. And I have to believe the reason why you did all that was because you were trying to figure out how you could slow down Sean McVay's offense in LA. Well, it's that time. We saw some good stuff against the Rams the first time we played them. We saw some good stuff the last month and a half. Defense is playing better. There's no doubt. But if we do not perform on defense tomorrow, if we do not find some way to stop that McVay offense, if we do not find some way to get it done, then a lot of that stuff is going to look like a mirage, and us fans are not going to remember it. We're going to remember how we traded the whole farm for Jamal Adams. We used our picks on Collier and Brooks, and how we gave all this free agency money to Jerron Reed, and we kept KJ Wright, and we traded for Quentin Dunbar, and our defense still couldn't stop our division rival when we needed it the most to win the division. Because I got to tell you something. A lot of the people who watch my channel, they're younger Seahawks fans. They probably hate the 49ers. They probably hate the Cardinals because they have recent memories of those teams being really good and challenging us for division titles, playoff seedings, the Super Bowl. But let me tell you something. I hate the Rams more than any other team in our division overall. I remember the Kurt Warner Rams. I remember the Mark Bulger Rams. I remember Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk. That was the era when I was really getting into football. And I remember how much I hated that team and how sick it made me seeing them beat us 3 times in one season. The first Seahawks playoff game I ever went to, we lost because Bobby Engram dropped a 4th down pass in the end zone, and we lost to the Rams. I hate that Rams team more than any other team in the league, more than any other team in our division. And all I know is this. We can put a big fork in their Super Bowl hopes this year if we take care of business tomorrow. And I'm looking at a lot of players to prove me wrong. I'm looking at a lot of players to prove to me that they are worthy of us being brought here in the first place. Greg Olsen, $7 million for 2 catches a game. Maybe you can make a couple big plays to earn some of that $7 million. Dwayne Brown, Mike Upati, you guys might retire this offseason. I know you want to go out with that ring. KJ Wright, same deal. I don't know if you're going to be in the NFL next year. You want to go out with that second ring on your part? Do something to earn it tomorrow, because I'm telling you, you can say whatever you want to say about going on the road and winning games in New Orleans, winning games in Green Bay. I got to tell you, if this season wants to end with something special, if this season wants to end with a trip to the NFC title game, maybe the Super Bowl, maybe even hoisting that Lombardi trophy, I have a pretty good feeling that it starts with us winning this division, playing their first playoff game at home, and going from there. And I'm going to get out of here. Peace out. Go Hawks. The list of players who can earn our love is long tomorrow, because a lot of these players, I like them. There are a lot of players on this team that I like. There are a lot of players on this team that I think everybody watching this video likes. But if they show up big tomorrow and take us to this victory, they can become players that we as a fan base loves, cherishes, and still talks about 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. And that's going to do it for me. Peace out. Go Hawks. This is what it's all about, guys. This is what it's all about.